Hello, I'm John Fox. I'm telling John West I'm having a Danganronpa trigger happy Havoc adventure, and I've had some food now. If you were here at the end of the last episode, I had stopped playing due to being very, very hungry, and I've done my hour's worth of exercise and I've had some food. So yeah, you can carry on undistracted. If you wasn't here last episode, this is a really, really odd time for you to start beginning this. To watch this, like, what is this, like episode 9 or something? Did you just click on this just for the fun of it? What? You've got to watch them in order, or at least, at the very least, watch the episode before this one, because we're halfway through a trial right now. Anyway, Leon's looking pretty worried below me, and that's because he murdered someone, and I'm going to prove to these teenagers that he did it. And Celeste, she's one of the teenagers apparently. She's asking us, does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they seem. Let's continue. I feel like the game taught me something and I've completely forgotten what that was, because I've taken like an hour break or so.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
So case 1 implies it's going to be a case 2. Spoilers.
Oh, you don't gotta sound so disappointed.
I don't think that's a good look for the game.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Good question. Using a screwdriver.
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
Key was in the room.
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then, maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way.
Knocked on the door and asked.
They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
That's actually the smartest thing he said all game. It's wrong, obviously, but it's not an unreasonable guess.
No, that can't be it either.
Because he doesn't know that we agreed not to let anyone in.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place.
Right, I take back anything nice I ever said about him.
Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
The reason there's no way Sayaka invited her killer into the room, I already have the answer. Oh, oh god, can I... Because they agreed. Switching rooms? I actually don't know. Hang on. Oh god, I've only got 2 minutes. And I can't pause it. Ah, no! Okay, well, not that one, 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 not that one. Not that one because it's been used. Diary message. I'll go with switching rooms. Or... I'll go with switching rooms. Where is switching rooms? Ah, I've lost it.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter... Oh no, sorry. Wrong voice. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
No. That's quite reasonable. She could have been lying. About being scared, she might have had an ulterior motive for switching rooms. There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two in 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Hang on, what? What's that? Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows.
I watch anime. That might not surprise you. There's a one called One Piece. The main character. It's like Dragon Ball Z, but with pirates. There you go. That's an explanation. If you don't know what Dragon Ball Z is, there are people beating each other up for the sake of the planet with magical powers. Anyway, Monkey D. Luffy, whenever he gets an idea, he goes like that, and she's doing that right there.
When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words.
God damn it! Why do you have the cat's voice? You've ruined this character.
When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes.
So she's a detective.
Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
Why the hard T in Makoto? Everyone else has been Makoto-ing. It's Makoto.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
That's not a signature. Is it? That's just a name. I mean, I guess you can just have your name. I feel like signatures usually... Oh, whatever. Sayaka wrote it?
but why? Why would she write that?
And she switched the things as well.
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Despite his tone, that's a reasonable thought.
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
I take back anything nice I ever said about him.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Are you saying that you got the note, Celeste? Is that what you're saying?
Huh? What makes you say that? Would you like to hear what I have to say?
No.
Very well then. Pay attention.
I said no, game! I said no! Oh, crap. Okay. Stop. Make your argument. Dorm nameplates. Okay.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
That is correct.
But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
Yes?
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room. Exactly. The room.
The Makoto was staying in. Sorry, I shouldn't have paused it.
So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
Oh, The reason the killer went to my room and not Sayaka's, despite what the note said, it must have been because...
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms.
Okay, yeah, sorry, the nameplates have been switched and I was supposed to shoot someone because that. That is correct, I can't
But in the
follow.
note, the place they were asked to, it specifically says, my room.
That is correct.
See. So if then they would have gone to Exactly. The room that
No.
No, that's wrong. The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves.
Why isn't she using her truth bullets?
As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
The only person who could have switched the nameplates was the killer, because Sayaka didn't have a toolkit. The killer had to be the one that switched the nameplates. Oh, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but they had no idea they were actually in your room, right? Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Shoot!
Looks like I just embarrassed myself. Oh, I lost a bit of health. There's only one... Me! Like... Okay, Sayaka.
I got it!
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew
Right,
about us
damn
switching
it.
rooms.
I just assumed it required a screwdriver.
So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates...
Like, I said it was Sayaka
Sayaka.
ages ago. Damn it, why did I change my mind at the last second?
You can also infer as much from her note.
Yeah. Like, that was dumb of me. That was really dumb. Sorry, it's the note. They're reading the note again.
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate.
Yeah.
She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and
No, I think there was
attacked
another
her.
visitor before.
We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
I've ruined this character by realizing that it's the cat from Persona.
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Because there's gold on her wrist. Well, I mean... because there's gold on the wrist. Do I present the wrist? Or the sword?
I got it!
All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword.
I have to assume that either one would have been the correct answer there, but not the sheath.
You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
She grabbed the sword?
I got it! Because she got hit with
Oh.
the sword! Right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? And what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. I really like the zooming thing they're doing. I don't like I don't know what that's all about. There's a bit more to learn about the non-stop debates. Oh, yeah, tell me about it. Absolutely. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. Oh, do behave, game. That was me trying to flirt. Let's never do that again. You get... let's just read. Yeah. Just like with the weak spots, only one of the bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll inflict damage to your influence gauge. You can press the LB button to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release the LB button to cycle through each bullet. You can hold down the LB button and use the left-right end stick. What the hell's an end stick? To select a specific bullet. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purposes this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Oh. Well then, good luck. Have fun. I mean, I can still pause, right, whenever I like. So. Okay, so sheath, knife, and replica sword. So I can still do that. So I've got all the time in the world to think, to be honest. When the fighting broke out,
the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack!
Well, I've got to listen to the entire thing, right?
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
Okay, yeah.
So, she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
Yes.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
Sword was used first, and then the knife came afterwards. Is that really the order of events? That leads to some unexplainable details. Because of the sheath. Okay.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack!
No, that's wrong.
Right, I don't think I need to pause, to be honest.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Huh? Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Oh, she was gonna kill him. Oh.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead! Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
She attacked first.
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it! So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening.
No.
So she grabbed the sword to defend herself.
The other way around.
But then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Leon... No, I guess he's still gonna die either way.
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Her hands? Her palms.
I got it! You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
What? What's wrong with you?
No, that's not it at all.
There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because the water was off.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
Oh my.
You're no different! You smell like a big fat ugly donkey!
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
That was an insult. Take that as an insult.
An insult, obviously.
Oh god.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means
Sayaka planned to murder the baseball star, yes.
the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
Sayaka.
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, but she was still a victim. Just not a blameless one.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
That does make sense. It was... I think that's really clever. Because obviously it was really obvious she was the first one who's going to die, right? Because she has all these death flags. She's like, let me tell you my backstory, just in case I don't have a chance to. But obviously, you know, when I started talking about Daniel Bryan and about how like dreams can be corrupted, like it made her seem like she was going to murder someone. So that they did both is actually a clever way to start the game. If all the murders are this good, this will be a really good game.
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in.
I mean, it was still really obvious it was Leon, but still.
And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Look at his face.
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky?
Well, it seems incredibly risky. She got killed. The risk was too... Yes, it does.
For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
And they wouldn't believe it.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior.
You thought he was capable of murder earlier.
I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Aww.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
Somebody with a really good swing. Why would he... Okay. Why would he unsheath the sword? He's good at carrying baseball bats and swinging them very hard. He could... Oh,
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it.
Who's Leon?
Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
The first murder case.
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery.
Or, since you clearly already know the answer, you could just tell us.
If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Yes, there is. Make your argument. Okay. It's the dying message. Or trash duty.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
No, that's wrong! There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Also, the whole trash thing.
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood.
Says Leon!
There must...
Well, before we get too far into that,
Sorry,
I need to ask,
I skipped ahead.
can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
Huh. There's no question that's her left index finger.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it.
But I mean, if I was going to fake it, I'd put blood on a finger.
That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
Or that somebody put blood on the finger, so it looked like she wrote the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What? What?
No, it's just look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but...
Also, if I left this tea for 30 minutes. I am going to make an assumption as well. I'm going to make an assumption that this case is supposed to be easy. And I'm not going to get too annoyed about them taking a really long time to realise in universe that is Leon.
Looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa. You might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
Alright, I'm gonna... That's a lovely reference, and I resent that it was him that made it. Little grey cells is a popular phrase by Poirot.
But even if that really is an N, N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn it, it's no use, I just don't know, because I'm an idiot or something.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Damn it, game. Like, can't I just say I know the answer? Huh? Rotate it? I think maybe I see something.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
Sayaka's dying message reveals the real killer's name. Select someone. Yeah, I really... Oh, crap. Time's against me.
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees.
Which I did immediately.
If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N.
Also, to give the game some credit, it's a Japanese name. Like, it's a Japanese game with an English name in it, so that might have been less obvious in Japanese.
L-E-O-N, or more accurately, Leon.
What? What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence. It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were.
Okay, I know I was skeptical about that, but I'll tell you what, if I pretend to write on my leg, it is upside down. But I feel like I could also just write on my leg the normal way, and only have like an accidental letter upside down. But whatever, I'll give the game that.
And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
Unless you purposely invert the letters, yeah.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
No, but he's the only one wearing a white button-up that had his name written out. But I know the crystal ball's the final clue, but still.
That's right. There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, I think so.
The burnt remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer wasn't able to get rid of. There's something about it we need to pay attention to. Where it was disposed of. Where the shirt was destroyed, if we focus on that, the killer will become clear. Where was it destroyed? You're talking about the trash room incinerator, right? How the fuck's that supposed to make everything clear? Hang on. Oh, I lost a heart. When it was disposed of? The time it was destroyed. Do you really have enough evidence that proves what time it was destroyed? I don't think you do. Okay. Well, only 3 hearts left. Luckily, it's the end of the case. Ugh. how it was disposed
I
of.
got it! If you look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay,
that's a good
okay,
point.
he's pointing to the crystal ball.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
I just want to say crystal ball.
You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either. You need the key to get in, and the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash.
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There was another way to use the incinerator without being the one on cleaning duty. And that's exactly what proves Leon is the real killer. Make your argument. Well, I know it's the shattered crystal ball this time. So the other two's already been used as well.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order to destroy...
No, that's wrong.
Don't have to get close.
Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but,
But how would you use it?
The killer had to use the glass ball. He had to throw it. Yeah, to final it.
I got it! The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Someone threw a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifu?
Sorry. Ha! Someone turned the incinerator on. Very strange. I'm quite certain it was off last time I was down here. Perhaps it was the work of a fairy.
Hifumi had the key, so the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they'd gotten the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire. If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold on.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small. Could someone really do that?
An ultimate baseball star could.
That's right. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is...
It wouldn't, an ultimate baseball star.
I got it!
Yeah.
Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Yeah, we've accused him already.
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then. Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear.
Why am I... Do I look like the person in charge of...
And with that, we can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered, and the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
The closing argument is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Every case has one last element to bring the class trial to an end. This is called a closing argument. In this phase even, you'll give a complete summary of the case. You'll have to reproduce the flow of events for a case in the form of a comic book, because of course you do. However, you'll notice that in the comic there are a number of pieces missing. It's up to you to complete the comic using the provided truth panels. Also, if you take aim at a missing section and press the A button, holy cow, you'll get a hint that might lead to a breakthrough. Well then, good luck and have fun! Right, this is John from the future, and I've decided to cut this episode here. It originally went on about 10 minutes longer, 15 minutes, and I'm going to glue that bit to the start of the next episode. So I'm going to let you go. I've been John Proxy from John West. I've been having a Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc adventure. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching.